We're joined with our isolation interviews now with Brendon McCullum. Baz, how's things going with you?
Yeah, pretty good, BP. Probably the longest time I've had at home for a while. So, albeit under tough circumstances, it's nice to spend a bit of time at home with the kids and the wife.
Yeah, okay. What have you been doing to be able to fill in the time?
Well, there's been a few odd jobs I've had to take care of. I've sort of been putting them off for a while, and now I've really got no excuse. So I've had to tidy up a few things around the property, and also brewed a little bit of beer and just been chipping away. We've got plenty of livestock on the property too, so there's a few things to do.
Yeah, well, probably the shameful thing, you haven't got anyone to drink the beer with. So it's just Mumsy, is it?
Yeah, she goes pretty good too, though. Between the two of us, we're certainly taking care of our quota, BP.
Oh, good work. Speak about the horses you've got on your property. Just how many have you got there?
We've got 12, mate, and a whole mix of horses. We've got one retired horse called Nevis, who we bought from Australia. Actually, really cool story. He had travelled from Ireland and then on to the UK, and then was bought by Lloyd Williams and raced in Australia for a while. And then we bought him over to New Zealand. Unfortunately, did attend him, but he's now looks after a lot of our young horses on the property. We've got a few brood mares as well, which are ours, and then we've got some young foals too, but also probably our best horses on the property at the moment. We've got three actually. Tabata, who won a really nice trial the other day. She was up and ready to go, a nice Savabeel filly, and then we've got a young 2-year-old Pins filly, Maynard, who won a nice trial the other day as well. She was probably ready to go to the races too, and then let me tell you, she was meant to run the next day, but that's all right. That's we'll put them away for now, and hopefully they'll come back in the spring and be ready to go.
Yeah, okay. Well, no doubt there's not a lot on, so we probably need to be following some horse racing at the moment. At least Australia is still up and running at the moment, and probably a few betting opportunities for us to think about tomorrow.
Yep, yeah, there is. Thankfully, those jockeys over there have tested negative, so we're all able to watch that and kill a bit of time throughout our Saturday, and no doubt offload a little bit of our hard-earned as well. If anyone else's punting's going the way mine is at the moment, but yeah, I'm looking forward to watching Probabeel. Obviously, Team Tiaka have been on fire this season, and albeit, Opie, I don't think he's riding tomorrow, is he?
No, he's not. No, he's suspended for a little period. But yeah, McAvoy's on Probabeel, and he knows the horse well. So I think the battle between her and Funstar has been a good one. And I see the bookmakers actually offered a special $2.50 on the Quinella again. So
that's nice money.
They
might get me that actually, BP.
There you go.
I'm normally just a win punter, but that one might get me.
Yeah. I mean, I know this question's been thrown around a lot, but what is it about cricketers that enjoy having a punt, and especially on the races? Is it because of the downtime, or what do you think it is about cricketers loving racing?
Yeah, I don't know, mate. There's a lot of us who really do enjoy racing. I enjoy it for not just the punt. Obviously, I enjoy the breeding side of it, and also the racing side. And for me, the thrill of being able to either breed something or buy something in the sale ring and be able to nurture it through, watch it grow, and then finally arrive at the races and hopefully garner some success is not too differently to what cricketers as in our own careers are like. So that's something that I love about it. I love the animal too, the presence of the animal, albeit they're big and imposing. I just love the vibe that they give off and being around it. And when it comes to the punt, maybe just being around team sports is always some banter going on. I think punting kind of leans itself towards that too. So yeah, I mean, some guys are just more out and out the punt, but I like to have a bit of a cross section of the industry as well.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about cricket. How do you sort of rate what the Black Caps Kiwi summer sort of as a whole? I mean, it was a very good start and a good end, I suppose, from the Black Caps this season.
Yeah, mate, I thought it was a really good season. I think if at the start of the season we were able to look at the win-loss column and see what New Zealand were able to the outcome that they were able to come up with at the end, you'd sit there and say, we'll take it. Absolutely. We'll sign where we can against such a strong opposition. England at home were always going to be tough. Thought we played brilliantly there. Australia away was always going to be tough. And then the number one test team at home was going to really, really see where we're at as a side. I guess the concern was that when we went to Australia, we lost as badly as what we did. But, gee, it's not the first team that's gone over there and done that, and not the first team that's gone over there with reputation and has done that as well. So Australia's a very difficult place to tour, not just the cricket on the field, but all the I guess the propaganda off it and the pressure that comes on you as a side, and they eat away at any sort of weakness that you have. And unfortunately, New Zealand weren't able to stand up at that situation. But overall, I'd definitely give it a good pass mark and another strong season for New Zealand.
Yeah, and some good positives as well. Obviously, our bowling stocks are very strong, and we did see the emergence of a young player by the name of Kyle Jamieson as well.
Yeah, I thought he was really impressive. He just looked like he belonged, BP. I thought, there's some guys who come into international cricket and you can just tell right from the get-go that they're not overawed. They back their ability, they back their skills. I thought New Zealand were very smart how they used them too, mate. I thought the way that Kane Williamson operated with them, he gave him the best of the conditions and allowed him to be able to ease his way into international cricket with favourable conditions. But you've still got to be able to carry yourself in the right way and also execute the opportunities you've been given. And that's exactly what Kyle Jamieson did. Or Jamieson, should I say? I always keep saying Jameson, but it's Jamieson. And I thought he was really well looked after also by the bowling group, an experienced bowling group led by Southey and Bolt, and obviously Wagner too. So they're really good signs. Also thought there was some good development with some of our young batters, in particular Tom Blundell, I thought was superb and has probably provided a nice little pathway when BJ Watling decides that he's had enough of international cricket, which is not yet. But when the time does come, it shows that we've got enough depth in that position too. But overall, I thought it was a really good summer, some development of some good players, and whilst a bit of a hiccup in Australia, they should be pleased with their 12 months.
How have you found the transition to broadcaster? Obviously, you had a good stint in Australia this season as well with Seven covering the Black Cap summer there, and then of course back here with Sky. How have you found that?
I've really enjoyed it, mate. It's I'm also, I guess I'm probably pretty lucky because I'm coaching as well. So I've got the Trinidad side over in the Caribbean Premier League, and also Kolkata in the IPL when that finally does happen. But I'm there for the next little while. So I've got those coaching roles where you can sort of be in the trenches and in behind the scenes with the guys and in that team environment. But I've really enjoyed the commentary side of it too, because there is a bit more of a team element that I probably didn't know when I was a player. When you're looking at the commentary team from afar, you're probably quite defensive about how you go about things. But look, there is a nice team element up there. The broadcasts are superb as well. And ultimately, the commentary is, whilst you need to be able to call it how it needs to be called, you're also a bit of a fan at times too, so you've got to try and separate that. But I've really enjoyed it. I think you're not always going to please everyone, but as long as if you're prepared to say what you're going to say on air while you're sitting in front of the person, then I think everyone's reasonably comfortable with it. And I think overall it's been a good experience and a nice transition too, and something in which I feel very lucky to be able to done straight after playing, to move into both coaching and commentary has been a really cool transition for me. Yeah.
Do you reflect at all? Like, do you ever reflect back on things, what happened in your career, and gee, I scored 300, that was pretty cool? Or, I mean, obviously things are the way things are at the moment. There's a lot of time to be thinking about whatever, and even on Sky Sport, I see they roll out a few of the old games. Do you ever think, gee, what I actually did achieve out there? There was some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, you do, mate. Yeah, it's funny because when you're in it, you kind of, blasé is not the right word, but you don't want to get too over the top, but you also don't want to fall too fast. You operate in a real sort of constant kind of thread, and that probably doesn't allow you to really enjoy some of those moments either, because there is so much pressure on. But now that you can look back and you say, well, some of those things that you achieved were really, really cool, and not just cool for yourself or your family, but cool for the game and for all those who follow the game in our country. And the 300 was one of those circumstances, and some of the test wins we were able to garner, and the World Cup run that we had as well in 2015, and heaps of different moments you look back on now with just a huge amount of pride that you're able to operate at the top level of that sport for your country throughout the time. And yes, I know that I've watched a couple of the reruns as well, because my kids are getting older now too, and they sort of, they're fans of the game, and so they want to sit down and watch it, and so you kind of sheepishly sit back in your seat and watch too. But you do look back and you know some of the thoughts that were going through your head at the time and the emotions that you were dealing with, and to be able to see it on the screen retrospectively now is pretty cool. And yeah, I was really pleased with the career that I was able to have. There was times where you wanted to do better, but overall, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, nice. All right, well, it's concentrating on some horses now and maybe less moments like out of the park, I suppose. There's probably one bit to forget.
I think you and I both did our lollies on out of the park over the SBP. Crikey, 7 seconds I think she ran for us, but really cool story though. You know, that's I turned 100 into 16 pretty quickly, but the new owners have turned 100 into 14. The new owners have turned 14 into 80 odd just as quickly. So, well, a lot quicker actually. But yeah, that's a cool story. Yeah. We sold her on Gabble House mainly because the owners of her were all based up here in the North Island now, and the reason why we wanted to race was that we wanted to be racing, black type forming horses up here in front of our shareholders, and we didn't feel at the time that she was going to take that next step. We knew that she would probably measure up to South Island Company, not being disrespectful to the South Island Company, but there is a slight difference in class, we feel, and hence she went down there, sold to a couple of good fellas and Mike Rennie and old Stewart as well, and yeah, they've done really well and managed to get black type with her pretty quickly, which is fantastic. So her residual value's clearly gone through the roof, and I've had a few phone calls from some of the old syndicate members asking us who also own shares in some of our other horses too, and I've said that we won't be selling them from here on in. But that's just a bit of good natured banter. It's great though, you don't want the horses that you sell to go on and do no good. You would rather they went on and you left a bit on the table for the next person, and they took a risk and they got rewarded for it. So, I still enjoy the ride, and I try and make sure I message those guys as soon as she has had every bit of success that she's had, and still take great pleasure in it. And the funny thing about this industry, there's so many experts in this industry as well as just a cricketer coming into it. You can sometimes they can sort of doubt whether you're any good at it either, and I'm not saying I'm any good at it, but ultimately you're putting up your money and you've got to back your judgment and you trust other people too. Yeah. But ultimately, if you're going to try and buy something in the ring, then you've got to believe in it too. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But, I was really pleased that was a horse which I was able to buy in the ring, and now she's gone on to achieve black type success, albeit for someone else, BP.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is a cool story. It is a very neat story with what's happening. I don't think it's finished yet as well. Right, mate, we better leave it there. We'll let you throw some more tin around, and hopefully you come back in the next 4 weeks looking like Arnie, maybe, if you keep your work up as it is. And we'll maybe look to try and share one of those home brews of yours once everything's been released from the lockdown. Great to catch up, and all the best, mate.
Thanks, mate. 5:20. I'm up for a beer. Cheers, brother.